children. How are you all? I hope you all are doing well. So let's get started with the leftover portion of the digestive system. This is class 6 bio lesson 4, digestive system, that we are going to continue. Now if you remember, in my last video children, I had already explained you about the various kinds of teeth that are found in our mouth. Today we are going to see the dentition and the dental formula, right? Underline this line children. The dentition of an adult human is described in a dental formula using the key letters as. Now see, this is the dental formula children. This you will have to learn. I represents incisors, C represents canine, P represents premolars, and M represents molars. They are of the half jaw. That means this is of the upper jaw, half. This is of the lower jaw, half. Right? So the dental formula is children 2, 1, 2, 3. Right? The 2 incisors in the upper and the lower jaw, 1 canine, 2 premolars, and 3 molars. So this is the dental formula, which is very important, and you need to learn it up and mug it up. The fact file. Tooth enamel, underline children, it is the hardest substance that is present in our body. And why it is the hardest substance? Because children, it is made up of small crystals or small particles of calcium hydroxide phosphate. Now this calcium hydroxide phosphate is made to stick with each other. It is made to fix with each other with the help of a protein which is known as keratin. So just like when the cement particles are put together children, in the same way these particles are put together with the help of protein keratin, and that makes the tooth enamel the hardest substance of our body. Now the next picture over here children is showing you the 4 different types of teeth that are found in our mouth. You need to learn how to draw them and see the structure of all 4 of them is slightly different from one another. Right? See the incisors, the canines, the incisors, see they are flat over here. They are flat and they are chisel shaped. Then these canines children, they are pointed. The premolars, see, they have some crown. The crown over here has some elevations as well as depression, which were known as the cusp children. And over here, see, in the molar, it is broader. Though it looks like similar to this, but this is broader. This is bigger and this is broader. So that ways, if you see, the structure of all these are different from one another. The broad surface may be uneven by the bumps called the cusp for crushing and grinding. A molar has 3 prongs to its root. Some premolars have 2. See the root, this children. Right? So with this, it is embedded inside your jaws. Digestion of the food begins with the teeth. You know, the first point where the digestion begins is actually our teeth. Therefore, you must keep your teeth clean and healthy by brushing them properly and taking care of them. Now, this you know from your junior classes only children. It is necessary that we brush our teeth regularly and twice daily. Why? Because that is going to give us a healthy set of teeth. Although tooth enamel is the hardest substance of our body, though it is the hardest substance of our body children, but it still can be eroded and destroyed by the action of the acid which is produced when the breakdown of the food is taking place. That means when we are eating the various kind of food and stuff in our mouth children, the acid which is produced at that time, it is it can kill the enamel of your teeth. It can make holes, cavities in the enamel of your teeth. And especially the things that will increase this thing is the sticky food like the chocolates, the burgers, and the noodles. So if you're eating too much of these and after you have eaten them, you're not you don't rinse your mouth, you don't clean your teeth, then these particles will remain sticking to your teeth, and it will easily invite the bacteria that are going to make the holes in your teeth, that we call them as the cavities. Digestive system of human beings. The digestion in humans is extracellular children. Extracellular means it takes place outside the cells, and it involves many organs like the mouth, the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. Now all these organs are responsible for the 5 steps of nutrition that takes place in our body. That means the ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Together they will constitute the digestive system. Underline this line, children. The digestive system comprises of the alimentary canal and the glands that are associated with it. So together they work and together they help in all the steps that are required for the digestion of the food that we eat in our body and to extract all the important energy, the nutrients and water that is stored in them. Okay, so we start with the organs of the digestive system. In the first place, or the first organ which helps in the digestion of the food, is the mouth, children. Food is taken in the mouth and is masticated before swallowing. Now, what is masticated? Masticated means to chew, to break it into smaller pieces. Now, suppose you take a bite of a sandwich. Now, that bite itself, you cannot swallow it inside. It will choke your neck. So what happens? You have to first break it into smaller pieces and we chew it. We start breaking it into smaller pieces. That breaking is known as mastication. This mastication is brought about by the teeth, the jawbone and the muscles. Together they work to break down the food into smaller digestible pieces. Food is chewed and broken down into smaller pieces, and this mastication is actually known as mechanical digestion because you are breaking it from the big piece, you're breaking it into smaller pieces. So this is mechanical, taking place with the help of the teeth and the muscles. So this is mechanical. It prepares the food for digestion by the action of enzymes, which is called chemical digestion. Now, once the food is broken down into smaller pieces, children, the chemical digestion also starts. Now, chemical digestion means mixing this food along with the saliva that is present in our mouth. You know, there's a liquid that is present in our mouth. That liquid is known as saliva, which is secreted by the 3 pairs of the salivary glands. Secreted means it is being produced, it is given out by the 3 pair of the salivary glands. They secrete saliva. Now, what is the work of this saliva, the liquid that is present in your mouth, children? It lubricates and softens the food. Now, first is it lubricates. That means because the food is in the form of a dry stuff. So who will give it a lot of lubrication? It will be wet. It is made wet and lubricated with the help of saliva. And this lubrication will also soften the food. That will become very, very soft. And if the food is soft, then it will help you in swallowing. You will easily be able to take it in. If it is very hard and saliva, suppose children, just imagine saliva was not present, then what would have happened? The hard stuff, the food, even if you break it into smaller pieces, still when we are swallowing it inside, it would have faced a lot of difficulty. So saliva helps to tide over all these things. Saliva contains, now saliva not only lubricates and softens the food, but it also has an enzyme. Now enzyme, you can understand, children, like a say like a chemical which is present, and this not exactly, it's not like a chemical, children, but you can say it's a kind of a liquid that is present. It's a kind of a, say, substance that is present that helps which helps to say convert starch into maltose. Now starch is what is present in the food, so this starch get converted into maltose with the help of this salivary amylase. So the name of the enzyme over here is salivary amylase. In short, it is also known as ptyalin. This is the reason that when we chew the boiled rice or the boiled potato nicely, it tastes sweet. Not only the boiled rice or the boiled potato, children, even if you take a chapati or a roti and without adding anything to it, that means without adding any say any vegetable or dal to it, if you just chew the chapati or the roti, it starts tasting sweet. Why? Because the carbohydrate, it's the starch which is present in that is converted into maltose. Now maltose is a kind of a sugar, so it starts tasting sweet. Now let's see the functions of the saliva, children. It aids swallowing, that means it helps in swallowing the food that we are eating. It acts as a lubricant during chewing. It helps to make the chewing very easy. It facilitates the speech. That means the way you are speaking, you are able to speak clearly because of the lubrication of the tongue and the lips that is provided again by the saliva. Remember, at times during the summers and all, when it is very hot, the saliva starts drying up in your mouth, and then you feel as if you're not able to speak properly, and you start feeling very, very thirsty at that time because the saliva starts drying up. It is a solvent which carries the molecules that convey the taste of the food to the taste buds. That means the taste bud which are present on your tongue, the food is being spread thoroughly over the tongue where the taste buds are present because of the presence of saliva. It helps in the digestion of the starch that I told you right now. Starch is converted into maltose. It has an antibacterial effect. Whatever bacteria are there in the food, children, those bacteria also, many of those bacteria are killed by the saliva. It helps to prevent the mouth infection and the tooth decay. Even it prevents the infection of the mouth and the tooth decay also. The food from the mouth is passed into the stomach, and through, how will it reach to the stomach, children? Through a long pipe which is known as a food pipe, or another name for that is esophagus. Esophagus is a 25 centimeter long tube. It's quite long. Digestion does not take place in the esophagus. That means the food that has already been chewed will not undergo any kind of a digestion while it is passing through a esophagus, because it is just a pipe to transfer the food from the mouth to the stomach. The muscle of the esophagus contract while one after the other in a wave-like motion. Whatever are the walls of the esophagus, they keep on contracting and expanding, contracting and expanding. They contract and then they expand, contract and expand. So this, underline, children, this wave-like motion of the muscle will push the food along the complete tube, and slowly it will move down to reach to the stomach. This wave-like movement of the esophagus, children, is known as peristalsis. Right? This is peristalsis. So underline this, children. The wave-like motion of a muscle which pushes the food along the body is called peristalsis. Next, the food reaches to the stomach. So how the digestion of the food takes place in the stomach, what are the various enzymes that are secreted in the stomach, and how the food is being digested in the stomach, and all those various parts we are going to continue in the next video. So today in this video I'm going to teach you till here only. See you in the next video very soon. Till then, take care, bye bye. And if you have not subscribed, you know what to do. And one thing more, children, many of you, I think so, you have not hit the bell icon till now. In case you have not done that, it is very important for you to press the bell icon, children, because then whenever I upload any new video, you will quickly get a notification and you will be able to see what are my new uploads. So press the bell icon and stay connected with me. See you all in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.